role of a PMC. So what is this PMC all about? Whether PMC is able to advise us, whether PMC, because as he said, for different land, different schemes are there. So we can understand MADA is different, but you said 3311, 3312B, 3320, all this. So how a P will be able to guide us, whether they will be really putting it and how they do it. What is that feasibility report? We are learning about project report, feasibility report, proposed plan. Can you enlighten us the role and responsibility of PMC?
First of all, let me thank you for inviting us. Now you asked me about the PMCs. The role of PMC becomes very important. Very important, I would say, because they are the guiding factor, guiding factor for any redevelopment. Suppose there is I am a engineer, and for tax purpose, I have to go to chartered accountant, right? So he is guiding me. So any professional is required for anything. If I have something legal issue, I have to go to the lawyer. Similarly, this becomes a technical issue. So PMC should be knowledgeable, knowing every aspects of the regulations. Number one, update, because sir, in our last 40 years of practice, we have seen frequent modification in the regulation.
That's correct.
Frequent. Sometimes it may be positive, sometimes it may be, but mostly they are positive. Mostly they are a step forward. So PMC should be updated. It's very important.
Now, can you highlight what are the qualifications of a PMC? How to identify a PMC?
Should be an architect or a civil engineer.
See, in Maharashtra, especially, it is an architect and a licensed, engineer.
Licensed engineer.
Licensed by the planning authority. Both of the people are entitled or to practice in developing a plan, putting up the plan. So therefore, they should be the technical people compulsory in the PMC. That is what you are saying.
Yes, sir. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, they should be.
Yeah.
Because they can study the regulation.
Correct.
They can interpret the regulations. Right?
Correct.
Interpretation is also very important. Interpreting of law is very important. They can understand, they can interpret, and then they can guide. Secondly, what he said about various regulations. Now coming to
feasibility.
That's what I'm coming to that. Coming to the redevelopment of society. Now slum, only one regulation.
That's correct.
Right?
33.5 is for slum.
No, 33.10.
Sorry.
33.10.
So I am confusing. So 33.10 is for the slum. So wherever there is a slum, once it is declared, that has to be compulsory done under 33.10. Correct.
Now he said introduced about 33.5. Now that 33.5 is only for the Mahada land which are leased to the societies. So land belongs to Mahada. So if that is in that case only 33.5. Right. Now coming to 33.7, which is for cess. If the building is cess.
I think you are all aware of cess building. In South Mumbai, we have 15 to 17,000 buildings.
Yeah, cess building is only in Island City. That means from Mahim to Kolaba and from Sion to
VT or Kolaba.
Island City, that's
Island
City. And then rest of is suburb, and from Andheri, Jogeshwari, extended suburb, then from that side is extended suburb and extended suburb. So 33.7 is only for Island City, wherein tenanted cess building which are existing prior to 1969 and declared as a cess. Intention of government at that time was that identify those building, dilapidated building or old building, and repair it. Declare it as cess, get the revenue, like a tax, they get the revenue and then repair. But MADA couldn't do it because day by day the cost escalated and it was not. Then this regulation came, wherein a developer will come. There are certain criteria, minimum area, rehab, incentive, X-rehab, X-incentive, and as Sir rightly said, to subsidize the free of cost housing, incentive is there. So that is 33.7 only in Island City. As he said, now what about tenanted building in suburb? So 33.7A. But those buildings should be declared dilapidated or unsafe. Then only 33.7A comes into picture, otherwise not. Those should be dilapidated, declared dilapidated C1 category by BMC, or unsafe building. Once again, authority is BMC, they have to declare. It's not that any tenanted building can take the benefit of 33(7)(a). No, it's very specific. Those should be declared dilapidated by BMC. Then and only those tenanted buildings can be developed under 33(7)(a). And the most important, sir's heart, I would say.
Yeah,
housing society is 33(7)(b). Then there are other issues, 33(9) is at cluster, then combination of 33(11). So a PMC should know, very important key, what type of building is this, whether it is slum. Of course, slum mein PMC doesn't come into picture. 33, whether it is Mada, whether it is tenanted, whether it is cess, whether it is society. So identification is very important. He should know that. Then feasibility or a project report is to work out various schemes. Let's say, for example, society. 33(7)(b). Manoj rightly said incentive is hardly very less, 10 square meter or 15% of the total built up, compared to the incentive given to other schemes. In 33(7), I think incentive is from, depending now what government in this regulation, it is not flat, 50%. In 33(7) is 50%. Otherwise, it is based on the ready reckoner. If the ready reckoner is less, you get more incentive. If the ready reckoner is more, you get less incentive. So based on ready reckoner, the incentive is granted to balance it. So let's say that a project is in, for example, or Malabar Hill, right? Rates are very high, sale rates are very high, ready reckoner rates are, and compared to Daisar, you can't say, I am giving 50% to Malabar Hill and I am giving 50% incentive to, which was there earlier in 91 regulation. That was very good thought process of the government. So based on the ready reckoner, the incentives are granted differently, right from I think 80% to 135% or 130%, depending upon that, including in 33(9) also. Then even 33(10) also, it's based on that, 33(5) also. So incentives are based on the ready reckoner. So a PMC should know all these factors. He should work out the various schemes.
Correct. Alternative schemes.
Working of all the alternative schemes. So feasibility should be prepared, A, B, C, D, E, various.
Correct.
Depending upon the incentives and what are the benefits.
Correct.
In any of the scheme, and thereafter final project report has to be given.
Okay.
So as I said, knowledge of regulation and update of regulation. And there are restrictions. Yeah, rightly you said. CRZ comes, then the regulation is different.
Then flying tail comes again different.
So everything, CRZ is also another story.
Correct.
Another story. If the plot is in CRZ, whether it is CRZ2, whether it is abutting to C directly, whether it is on the landward side of road or authorized building.
Correct.
There are different aspects. Sir, in my opinion, I always say when I speak, in any of the forum or with in our friends or everything, in Mumbai, every plot has a different regulation.
That's correct.
Every plot.
Plot wise
I am developing this plot for X as per X. Next plot I will have to develop wider. You can't have a similar thing. Every plot in Mumbai will have a different.
That's correct.
You will have to use.
Mumbai is a unique city.
Unique. Yes. And of course, because of the situation of Mumbai, regulations are there depending upon the type of.
Okay. Just for the sake of all of your understanding, feasibility report is nothing but a computation, a statement where what is the land area, how much is the construction possible under the different development control and promotion regulation. What they are saying is 33 series. And then how much is the total built up possible, how much will be the selling rate. So the determination of the total potential and then selling rate, then the construction cost and the development cost, premiums, all this is called a project cost, and project cost is divided by the rate available in that area for a selling area. So we come to know how much area has to be sold in the market to recover that project cost with the profit of the developer. So the remaining area becomes the area available for the society. So economics of the project, a project cost, how it is viable, whether it is should be, which regulation should be used, so that the maximum potential will be available, area will be available to the existing members or the society. This is what is known as a feasibility report in nutshell. Yeah.
I would like to add to Manoj, whatever statement he made. I think first and foremost comes the project report, where what is the status of the land, what reservation it is, what width of the road it is, what height it is permissible. You may talk of any 10 FSI, 8 FSI, whether in Ville Parle I will be able to consume only 2-floor civil aviation is permitted. So redevelopment is a non-starter. So these all factors we need to incorporate. If you suppose next to the railway line, there are restrictions. So these all factors, a professional whosoever is working out the FSI potential for each and every plot, that he has to consider and then propose. So suppose hypothetically your plot is clear, no restriction, nothing is there. There are 4 schemes available. So as Prabhu sir told, you have to work out all the premiums, all the construction costs, GST applicable, will come to that subject, applicable to the rehabilitation tenements, what will be the cost. See, ultimately this all money the developer is going to bear. So what will be the landed cost vis-a-vis whatever sale potential is available to that. Suppose hypothetically what we do, we run through, I am giving, we are offering 40% extra area. So what profit is left out? If profit is less, then we come down to 30%. Still less than 25%. That is how the percentage is derived. It is not a menu card, okay, every property in Parle will have a 40% area extra. So as Manoj told, if suppose you have utilized already 1.4 FSI, you will get a lesser reward. If you have utilized less than 1 FSI, you will get a better reward. So all these factors are there which will combine. So it is a scientific calculation. It looks simple, but it is not that. Lot many factors are involved in this, and obviously architects, civil engineer, whosoever PMC is working out, he should know other laws also. When we used to start, we have started PMC in say 2008. People used to say, "Arey Baba, on rent there is income tax or not? On corpus fund there is income tax or not?" So these are all questions which, I mean, see, Bombay or rather India, all professionals should know what other regulations are also there. I may not know the exact act, but at least income tax prima facie I should know. As a chartered accountant, you also should know what is FSI. Oh bola baba FSI, तुम architect को पूछो, तो ऐसा नहीं चलता है. You should know each and everything. That's why I think we are here to share knowledge with each other. We have come here primarily to learn from something, not I mean other.
Yeah, please.
You see, this makes the thing of a society having an independently appointed PMC most important. Because with no offense meant to your community, when a developer comes forward and he brings forward that I'll give you 40% extra, 50% extra, whether whatever is being offered by the developer is actually feasible or not can only be seen if this independent PMC who is appointed by the society has given a feasibility report on the basis of which you will make the selection. And I'm sorry to say, because that doesn't happen, therefore a developer gives a very lucrative scheme and a greedy society feels that let's grab this, and the society work then begins and gets stalled. And therefore the need for having an independent PMC who will continue to be in the project even after the developer brings his PMC, this PMC of the society has to continue.
So I think any questions?
One more.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more, very important, as agreed what sir said. Everyone says fungible to 35% मिलना ही चाहिए.
बिल्कुल. I had that question. I thought let the members ask. Go ahead. Yeah, you are right.
No, fungible is optional in regulation, except for few regulation. It's an optional. And what Manoj rightly said, we have to work out the economics. What is the cost? What is the price over there? What is the difference between the sale and the actual cost? Cost means everything, including interest cost, sir. Everything comes to the administrative cost of the developer. Every cost will come into picture. Administrative cost is also there for them. So all cost is to be accounted. And thereafter, as we say, profit sharing. So profit sharing is by way of paisa for developer, but for members, it's an area, additional area. So that this is a myth. No, it is not like that. If it is less than 1, you will get more. If it is more than 1.4, 1.4, now TDR, so suppose 1 plus 1 TDR is consumed as per 91 regulation. Now 2 FSI is consumed. So what will happen? And suppose if they don't get amalgamated adjoining plot, and they are not able to get 4,000 square meter in city or 6,000 in suburb, then they are not eligible for cluster, right? So that everything needs to be and PMC, or as I initially said, my first statement was he should be knowledgeable and update.
Yeah.